welcome back to the Orange and Black SoccerCast. The World Cup is alive and well. It's in full swing. We get to talk to none other than, I think now, Orange County's technical top goal scorer at this point. And, I guess there was a match in Albuquerque or something. Does that place really even exist? Anyway, this is the podcast of your 2021 USL champions. Welcome to the Orange and Black SoccerCast. It's here somehow. It somehow, because of the World Cup, it feels like, who cares about the USL at this point? I know my co-host tonight will feel that way. Let's welcome him. Matt, welcome back.
Thank you.
Oh, good, you're here. Ooh, you scared me for a minute. I thought it was going to be an hour of me talking at a screen, which no one would want, of course.
Luckily, we're in between games right now, so I'm here. I'm attentive for now.
Fill me in. We'll pretend I was researching and just not busy doing other things. How did the Argentina-Algeria match end?
Messi hat trick, 3-0.
Are they going to repeat? Let's just, are they going to
I don't know about that, but you never know. That midfield's wild. I think it's like the most balanced midfield, and it's a beauty to watch. So, but I don't know if they have the full squad to do it again. But I wouldn't have said the same thing 4 years ago. So you never know.
Fair enough. Speaking of not having the full squad and the full midfield, maybe Orange County Soccer Club, technically what this podcast is about. We'll just dive right into it. Saturday, 1-1 draw in Albuquerque. Again, I wonder, does this place truly exist? You saw a 4-4-2 if you saw the pre-match lineup. I don't think that was a very accurate description of how Orange County lined up. Bazzini was definitely the lone man up top, and he had McKinnon off to his right and Hagar off to his left. Outside of that, well, things aren't great when you concede a goal at 2 minutes into a match, but yet what we've seen in the past is that it's hard for teams to defend for 85 minutes. And Orange County did find a way back into this one. Matt, what were your initial thoughts watching this match?
I mean, it was, like you said, it's tough to concede early, and I'll go with the positive spin that, we turned it around. But typical game in New Mexico, I feel like this is a very typical result for us. I mean, typically we'd lose, I feel like. So I'll take the point there. But yeah, just a tight game, back and forth, not like a ton of chances. It's one of those games where, like, you see the first 15-20 minutes and you're like, ooh, we're in for a fun day here. And then I don't know if both teams decided just to, okay, hold on. We've both conceded relatively early here. Let's back off a little bit. Let's take our foot off the pedal and focus a little more defense first here. But overall, take the point. I'd like to see some, I don't know, try something a little different. The Hagar on the left thing, like, still not sure how I feel about it, even though it worked there, I guess, a little bit. But I still just am not sure if I'd maybe rather see him a little more central. But it's fair enough fruit, I guess.
Yeah, you took the words. I was going to ask where you wanted him. I wasn't sure if you wanted him on the right or not. But largely, if we're going to look at positives from this match, perhaps it's just that New Mexico didn't really have an idea about what to do with Chris Hagart, other than, for the fans to boo him, which was hilarious. But again and again, Orange County did well playing up through the left and playing through Chris Hagart. So I hope we get to see a little bit more of that, especially as we have this ragtag team of midfielders as we watch probably the worst miss of the game, and hopefully of the season, that would have put Orange County in the lead. So I mentioned a little bit earlier, if we're going to talk about a negative from this match, I do think that Yana Bazzini's performance was one that left quite a bit to be desired, but kind of both ends of the ball, unfortunately. No word on how fit Ethan Zubak is, at least for me. I typically leave the burrowing it up to Larry, who's not here tonight. So, well, we'll see if Bazzini can figure it out next week. But for the time being, 1-1, it's a point. It's a point on the road. Someone will complain about the altitude. I think the match commentators talked about it, and then I immediately got really annoyed. And then was grateful for Chris Hagart saying that, he doesn't really even notice it. But all the same, 1-1, this one ended after a second half that was really not worth anybody's time, including the 22 players on the pitch. Actually, I guess technically slightly more since the subs came in. All the same, Orange County remains in second place. 12 matches gone now, 20 points to show for it. I think it's one win in the last 5, but no one else behind them is particularly running away with things either. This was a weekend of a lot of dropped points across the board, save for, I think, Lexington and Sacramento were the only teams in the West to get a win. So you don't have to be great. Sometimes you just have to be the same and or slightly better than everybody else. Now let's talk about some more exciting things. I think our attention has been turned, of course, by the World Cup. And there's even more teams this time around. So there's even more chaos. Neither of us, Matt, I don't want to speak for you, going to a game at all?
I will be. Yeah, I'll be going to the knockout game on June 28th, hoping that's Mexico. But we'll see. Depends on second place in the Canada group versus second place in the Mexico group. So could very well be Mexico. Depends on how Thursday night goes, I think. But yeah, I'm going to that one. So we'll see how it goes. It could be South Korea versus, Canada. And either way, I'm having fun and excited to go to a game. I figured I had to go to at least one, despite the insane prices. So figured that would be a good one to gamble on because some people might know Mexico's my second team. I'm very I'm not torn on my allegiance, don't get me wrong, but they're definitely my second team. Grew up basically raised Mexican, as I like to say. So I have a lot of love for it. So very excited if I can see them in person in a World Cup game.
We're going to start calling you Landon Donovan. And while he's on the subject, congratulations on the new hair, Landon. I hope that journey to Turkey wasn't too much work. Truly, what a wonderful comeback for him. We don't have to just talk about watching matches on TV, however, because we are joined tonight by none other than Kyle from Grassroots POV. So, Kyle, welcome to the Orange and Black SoccerCast.
Thank you so much. As they'd say on the radio, long time, first time. So very just grateful to be here and talk a little bit about the experience at the match.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's dive right into it, right? You were there for the match, USA versus Paraguay, and probably pretty happy with the results. So, tell us the whole experience from, going into what was formerly known as and will be in the future known as SoFi Stadium to the match, and everything after.
Yeah, so beautiful Los Angeles Stadium. But yeah, no, it was overall, I can say, again, the experience itself, the match itself, I really don't have much to be negative about. I feel like it's very easy and very American to a certain extent to try and be a little negative, especially when it comes to soccer, large events and things like that. But no, so I mean, just to kind of start and give a full picture, showed up to the American Outlaws tailgate probably 4.5 hours before kickoff. That was a complete madhouse, which is something probably good to have to a certain extent with just how limited that area is around SoFi. For those that have been there, I mean, half of it's still not open. So it's really tough to kind of fit thousands of rowdy American soccer fans that are trying to get nice and get a few beers in them that aren't a full $23, which is what the price is at SoFi for a Michelob Ultra, sometimes even a little cup. Yeah, it's that bad. But hey, what were we expecting? But no, in general, I mean, I think you guys can sort of vouch for this as just being around the Los Angeles area. It's never been a big U.S. men's national team hub. I've seen some great crowds for the women's games, things like that, but it was really refreshing to see because we don't really get a lot of these, the World Cup qualifiers against Mexico and things like that, where we really need to have a home field and a home crowd. We go to places like Nashville and Columbus and Minnesota for the weather and the fans as well. So it was really refreshing to walk into a U.S. men's national team game and go, oh, this is a ridiculous atmosphere. I mean, I hope it came through on the TV because it was loud the entire game. I get we don't have the most creative chance. It's a lot of USA. And
I will defend them till I die. All right,
exactly.
I'm tired of this. I will die on the hill that our chants are not that bad.
I mean, it's just it's very funny.
Die on the hill. Don't make that face, Dylan. I'll fight you.
It's you think that quote unquote I believe we will win is
I think that
not
song,
that bad chant.
Yes. Yeah.
It's our own.
I will fight you over that. Here's the thing. Everyone always clips that song when it's 4 people singing it, and it sounds horrible. If you get a full stand of people roaring that song, it's epic, and I will die on that hill.
Agreed.
Kyle, I'm assuming you had a full stand of people.
Yeah, it was. So my area I was in the 200 level. So a solid mix of real fans and a solid mix of a little bit of, for example, I was there just through business. I was very lucky enough with my marketing job that actually pays the bills to have a hookup and be able to go through that. But you could tell there were a lot of people that were there and like, oh, this is like my first soccer game, which they were still loving it. And they were still getting into the atmosphere, which was refreshing to see, especially as somebody from LA, diehard Laker fan. You go to some of these games and it's, the first full lower bowl is basically all people that are there to show off their outfits. So it's a very LA thing. And I really, it was cool to see that whole kind of crowd and just have a little bit of that cohesion. We were sort of below where they put most of the American Outlaws with drums and things like that. I know, was it an OC, one of the OC drummer or somebody based? I know it was a lot of OC presence there. So that part was very cool. And just the overall buzz in the stadium the whole time. If you're at a great atmosphere, you kind of have that little murmur that goes throughout, even when the game is at a full standstill. And that was there. And it wasn't something I was really expecting. I obviously knew Paraguay doesn't have the biggest population in general, but especially in Southern California. So I wasn't expecting it to be, I was at the Iran game last night, and that was, crazy. The amount of people that just flooded in there and really made themselves heard. I knew it was going to be full on that. We weren't going to be hearing a lot from the Paraguayan fans. They were still great, really nice, and just overall to interact with pre and post game. But it was really just refreshing to see it was a fortress to a certain extent. I think even Potch talked about it post game. He goes, if you look at this and you're going to tell me that soccer isn't huge, I think his quote was look out the other 4 sports, or however you want to define it. So from the crowd perspective, without going into too many of the tactics yet or anything, I've said the word a million times. It was just so refreshing and so hopeful to see for U.S. soccer in a region and city, especially that is an immigrant city. Everybody or most people, I mean, I even root for Ireland pretty much on the same level as the U.S. And I'm like a 3rd generation Irish. I have been there once in my life. So it's a really cool, hopeful thing. And I'll kind of leave that at that.
Yeah. On the comment about the atmosphere, just a quick question on that, because I have a buddy that was there as well. And he said that, just to see what your take is, he said the energy inside the stadium was incredible. Outside the stadium was a little disappointing. Would you agree with that? Or how did you kind of feel about that? I mean, kind of alluded to it a little bit.
Yeah, so I think a big reason of that is because of the way SoFi Stadium's set up. Mm-hmm. The only place to really tailgate that isn't like the casino, and then you're also paying a ton for drinks or something like that. I've never done that personally, just heard not so great things about it. The only place you can is kind of in this little shopping area where, again, all the things are closed. So we were packing in just to get, I mean, it was, I got in, probably around 2:30, 2-ish. And immediately was like, all right, it was a hot day. Let me go find a Michelob and a water. The shortest line after walking around for about 20, 30 minutes was one, ended up taking me another 30 minutes. We're in a not opened store that had no AC, just had fans blasting, to be fair, but nowhere to sit, nowhere like this. They just weren't prepared for it. I think that many numbers, which again, there's a silver lining in that if we want to be overly positive. But yeah, I mean, it's just so spread out because you got people being like, hey, do I have to get in at that? I think it opened 4 hours ahead, which isn't going to be normal. I think now it's usually 3, but it opened 4 hours ahead. The line from people that I was seeing and YouTubers and things like that, they were like, oh my gosh, we're here at 1:30 and the line is all around. So it was almost a little pro tip. If you're at one where there's going to be a huge line, like for example, if you're going to Sunday's game, Belgium-Iran or something like that, just speaking on Los Angeles Stadium or SoFi, get there a little bit after that opening, because that's when you kind of hit that sweet spot. Because otherwise you're waiting with all these people that some of them have been waiting since like 11 or noon, like, 7 hours before the game. But yeah, no, it was just spread out. I wasn't there for the actual American Outlaws, like march in. Didn't see a lot of clips of it, which I think is a little telling of it compared to, some of the other friendlies and stuff where we actually had good marches and things like that. But no, I mean, no fault to the fans or anything like that. I think it's a little bit of the kind of the hand we're dealt. It's awesome being in that cool of a stadium and having that many different cultures all kind of coming around and supporting the U.S. But the outside of the stadium, like you had alluded to, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I wanted to comment on too, like you said, with the makeup of the people in the stadium. It's always funny because you're going to have the people that care enough to pay the money or the people that can easily pay the money. And those are two very different sets of people typically.
Yeah, so. Very.
And yet I sit at home because I'm apparently neither of those people. To talk about the result, obviously, and the stuff that happened on the pitch, the stuff that we're, just passengers to 4-1. I mean, I'm not going to count the own goal really as one of the options, but of the 3 other goals, which was your favorite, Kyle?
I feel like it's got to be a coin flip between Flo's second or the Gio, in my opinion. Not taking away from the other goal, but I do think it was. I'm going to have to go with Flo just because of that clinicalness. Gio, again, the Trivela, awesome. But we kind of, in a weird way, I get we don't expect it as of recently from Gio, but we expect that from Gio. And Flo for the national team, he obviously has these moments and things like that, but with injuries and, I mean, we haven't, not had full rosters at all these camps and things. That was just the most, maybe that's the better way to phrase it for me. The more enjoyable one was that Flo just cut back in. I mean, didn't even need to go that top binge, just did it for the heck of it. Like, zero reason to put it there when you have the entire side of the goal, and he just did. But again, not taking anything away from Gio, but I just think that Balogun goal second that is what we've been missing from my whole life. I was born in 2002, but so I don't have a huge sample size, but really haven't had that world class. And I'm not saying he's starting at Real Madrid.
I was about to say put a little respect on Josie's name, but
yeah,
I don't know world class. But okay.
Yeah, exactly. I just mean in terms of this looks like this could be really dangerous for a long time. And I love Josie and things like that. And to be fair, part of that is also, to be fair to Josie, he didn't have this team around him. He had to kind of carry certain camps and certain windows but from the offensive standpoint, just because some of those other guys were getting a little older. So no disrespect to the Turkish vacationer and Donovan, or I guess business trip for him, but or Dempsey or any of those guys, or even Josie. But yeah, it was just like, wow, this is what's been missing for most of my life. And hopefully it keeps up. We still got a long ways to go.
Dylan, that third, I would definitely agree with Flo's, but I think partially I would lean it, not even so much about the goal itself, but just the moment that it was. I think Reyna's, it was probably the better of the two, technically speaking, but it just was, the game was over at that point. Whereas Flo's, Dylan, are you thinking what I'm thinking as far as what that goal reminded you of?
I mean, I'm kind of coming up on a blank, but I feel like that one
3-0 right before halftime.
All right, that's fair. I mean, if it was like a 50-yarder from a free kick, I would have had the same thought as you.
But fair. That's how it felt. It felt similar to the OC final in 21, where that third goal was the dagger, and also that moment of just we're up 3-0. I know it's the first game, it's not a final, obviously, so it's different. But just that moment of we're up 3-0 at halftime. I would have never bet that if I was a betting man going into that game. I thought that was going to be like a 1-1, 2-1, it'd be a tight game, a tough one against Paraguay. But going up 3-0 at halftime, you're like, this game's over. Like,
And
we're crushing them.
Like that. I mean, Paraguay throughout their entire qualifying was just a machine defensively. I mean, and to be fair, they were tied on points with Brazil, Colombia, I forget who else, but all at 28. So it was really close. They scored 14 goals in 18 matches. But I think they basically conceded around the same number. And we're talking again, I mean, beat Colombia, Brazil, and Argentina. It doesn't really get much better than that. So that's one thing where I've seen, it's just Paraguay. And while I do think there's a little bit of a healthy kind of job not finished like mentality to have there, where it is, hey, we still have 2 more matches to play against similar, probably better teams. It's just we gotta give ourselves a little bit of flowers here, not get ahead of ourselves. There's a fine line, but Paraguay is a darn good team and a really darn good squad, and especially with Enciso actually playing last minute. I remember looking in the stadium and getting my Thought Mob notification, and I'm like, oh, goodness. Like, that's – I guess it could be really good where he's playing, not when he's supposed to, or this could be really rough. And no, I mean, the whole game, it was just really the one goal we conceded, which I do love that Poch has something to, for a lack of a better term, so we're not smelling our own farts here, being like, hey, we're not perfect here. We let a team that had no business scoring a goal in that entire match. Should have been probably 5-6-0 for being real. And in an ideal world, we let a team that had no business scoring score, and it was just because we didn't press as hard for a 10-minute span.
I'll say this as a Chelsea fan who watched Pochettino chaos ball for a whole year. That's what's going to happen every game. Like the hope every game is to score 3 or 4 because we're going to concede 1 or 2 without a doubt. So I think that's just something we're going to have to expect regardless. It's just going to be back and forth, and let's just hope that the offense and the midfield can carry the team a little bit, especially with Tim Ream still there.
Yeah, it's okay. That hair makes him look 10 years younger than he is. Let's look ahead. Next match, I believe, is against Australia, and they ran out 2-0 winners against Turkey, probably to everyone's surprise, and probably thanks to Patrick Beach in goal. So really quickly from both of you, can I get a score prediction and where the U.S. is going to finish in the group? Go ahead, please, Kyle.
So I'm going to be at the match. I'm so excited. I'm going to be here. I think it'll be a 2-1 USA. Like you would say, I think Australia's tactics are just so like perfect in a way where it's the quote unquote haram ball or however you want to say it, that just park the bus, but they do it in a way where they always have an outlet up top, which I feel like a lot of teams at the World Cup just get everybody behind the ball and it gets really stale. And these really good teams, which I would put USA in terms of the attacking talent up there, as you can't fully sit back. So I do see, as Matt had said, the Poch way, I could see Australia getting a goal. I just really hope it's not that opener, because that could be really tough, as we saw with Turkey, who has similar attacking power to us, not nearly the same team as a whole. I mean, Arda Güler is better than any front three we have, and we got some real good front three players. So I think 2-1 is my hopeful. I legitimately think it could be a 1-1. I just think, and stating the obvious here, that first goal is going to be huge, because if Australia can get that first goal, that low block, that's where a Gio Reyna being an earlier sub, I think would be helpful. I think he can get lost against some of these better teams, deeper teams, like we saw against Germany, even though it was a friendly. He could be another X factor as a 60th minute sub, maybe a little bit earlier or something, to kind of make something happen. But I'm hoping we score that first goal. I'm going to go 1-1 as my real prediction. I think the hopeful one here that I think it could just as easily be is a 2-1 USA.
Gotcha. Matt, your prediction for this match and then the group?
I'm going to go 3-1 USA. I think Turkey didn't play as good as they could have. I think while Beach did have a good game, I think they missed chances rather than their chances being saved as much. I think they had a few that they just should have put away. So I think I think that team is beatable. I think that was a bit of a fluke result. I think it may come down to us versus Turkey. If we win this game, then we're in pole position. So we'll have to see how the other game goes as well. And I think we topped the group. I really do, especially with what I saw with Turkey. They were the team that scared me most, with Paraguay being a close second. And I think the home factor is just more than I thought it would be. So, yeah, let's go.
Hey,
9 points.
Fair enough. We'll talk about it next week. Kyle, thank you for joining us. Seriously, super appreciative. And thanks for sharing your experience. You're going to be at the next match. Where can people follow along with you?
So it'd be mainly Grassroots POV on Instagram, mainly through the live stories. If anything real nice happens, it'll be a little reel or something. But yeah, Grassroots POV on Instagram. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Of course. And, once this whole World Cup thing is done, we'll take you back to the best stadium in Southern California, that being the Champ. Kyle, thanks.
Enjoy the match. Not jealous at all.
It's okay, Matt. You're going to get to watch the knockouts. We'll ask our next guest what he's excited about and what he thinks the next score is going to be. Please welcome goal scorer this weekend, Connecticut native. I was going to try and segue into your pizza choice from last time, Nico, but I've couldn't figure out a good way to do it. So welcome back. All right, we'll try and get his audio working really quick. This has been a thing all night, hence why we're running late. But Matt, in the meantime, from what you saw of Nico on Saturday night, what'd you like?
I like goals. They tend to help a lot. Oh, kind of hear you?
Worked?
It worked. All right.
Okay.
Sorry, Matt. Perfect. We're going to kick you off. Nico,
Matt,
welcome back.
About that. Thank you guys for having me. No, sorry about that.
It is more than okay. Again, I was having the same issue when we were starting tonight, so
nice.
It happens. Nico, I'll just go completely irrelevant to Saturday night. What have you watched of the World Cup, and what have you enjoyed thus far?
I pretty much watched everything. I actually just finished watching Messi. I mean, what more can I say? I was pretty much speechless after watching that. But no, I would say yesterday was the first day that I didn't watch the afternoon game. But other than that, I think I've watched every single game in the whole entire World Cup. I know we were playing at the same time as Scotland, which one of Kel's on my team, Stephen Kelly, was a bit upset about. But no, I'm happy they got it done. So.
Yeah, I think he and Greg Hurst are both Scots. And I was like, I wonder how annoying this is.
Yeah.
But all right, I'm going to start off by asking the same question. How is the U.S. going to fare in their next match, and where are they going to finish in the group?
Honestly, I think they're going to be the top of the group. They came out the first game really well. I know I think I'd overheard the previous call, them saying that it being at home is definitely helping them. I think they've done a great job. The first game they came out flying, and I think they can hopefully bring this momentum to the next two games. Obviously, they're tough teams, but I think they can do a good job, especially if they play how they did the first game.
Fair enough. I'll take it. Matt, do you have any World Cup related questions you'd like to ask Nico really quick?
Oh boy. Well, let's get who's your favorite and who's your dark horse
for the World Cup?
Yeah.
All right. So my favorite going into the World Cup was Spain, and after watching their first game, it sort of scared me a bit. But I mean, with Lamine Yamal back, I think they can still win it. So I'm gonna go with Spain. I'm gonna stick with them. And then my dark horse, I have to say Ecuador. My whole family is from there, and it wasn't the best first game. They could have been up, 3-0 at half, but they hit the post, a countless number of times. So it was a bit tough. And Ivory Coast looked good too. So, can't really throw any shade at them. But no, I would say Ecuador. I think they can. Hopefully they'll pass, the group stage. I know they have to play Germany and Curaçao next, but I think they'll do a good job.
As a big fan of Moises Caicedo, I hope so too. Conceding 5 goals in the qualifying is insane. So I think that game was a bit of a fluke. I mean, Ivory Coast did look good, but I agree with you. They were definitely one of my. It's one of those where it's like I don't know if I have to say dark horse to win it. It's so hard to look past, But I think they're one of those like would get to a semifinal maybe
for sure
type of teams for sure.
And hopefully they do. Hopefully they do.
Spain's a weird one. I think everybody's in the same boat where everyone thought they'd win it coming in, and then after the first game, everyone's like, "Are they?" But like, I swear, every team. Look at Argentina in 2022, right? They lost the first game to Saudi Arabia, and then they end up winning the World Cup. So you can't put too much stock in that first game. I think all the big teams have a bad result in them in the group stage, and then they go on and just kill teams. So
of course, yeah. If they get out the group stage, I feel pretty confident in whoever they play. Even they beat Argentina in qualifying. So we'll see.
France looked real good today.
They did. Senegal is a great team too. So we have a few Senegalese on the team. Liam, Mo, Uzi. So they were all cheering them on hard. But yeah, France looks really strong. And I would say one thing that they didn't expect too much from France was them watching them defend. I think they did a really good job at that as well. So yeah. I mean, they're definitely gonna go far this tournament.
Yeah.
Well,
come on, England. I think they can do it. It's their turn.
No, not yet.
I'm trying to think if you even have any. Oh yeah, Tom, of course, your captain is. I was like, do we not actually have an Englishman on the team for?
Yeah. Tom, nah. But I don't even think he believes in them either. So we'll see.
Is he one of those I'm Scouse not English types?
No, I think he's. I mean, I think he wants them to do well. I think he thinks other teams will do well.
Yeah. Fair enough. Nico, thank you for humoring us for chatting about the World Cup for a minute. Let's instead let's talk about you. Let's talk about Orange County. Let's talk about the fact that you have scored 2 goals in your last 2 league matches, and you are currently joint top goal scorer for Orange County Soccer Club. Can you run us through the finish on Saturday night?
Yeah, I mean, I think we did a good job at pressing. That New Mexico is a team that likes to build out, and we were set up pretty well in that instance. So, the ball came to me. I played, Uzi pretty much first time. I think that's one of our biggest points when we win the ball back is how fast can we go forward. And, I played the ball to Uzi, and I sprinted it right into the box. A great ball from Chris. He's my roommate, so I think we have some good chemistry. But, I think just running into the box, we always talk about just being in dangerous spots. And thankfully, I was able to get in front of the guy and hit it in. May have taken a deflection. I'm not too sure. I remember. I just saw the ball go in, and I was pretty hyped. So it was definitely a great moment.
I won't take it from you. They didn't take it from you. Will you? You mentioned obviously Chris is your roommate. We had him on last week, no less, and he mentioned to you. Run us through the celebration. What's going on there?
Yeah. So the first one, actually, I was just copying my friend Gio. He had scored the day before for the U.S., so I just wanted to make fun of him with the closing the ears, and I just like doing the Messi celebration that he had against Netherlands with this one. And I think I've done it every goal since I've been here. So no, it's pretty funny to do that as well. But no, I mean, growing up, I scored, I guess growing up in the academy and when I was a defender, I wouldn't score a whole ton. So now I take full advantage when I do score to celebrate a little bit.
Fair enough. It's fun to think of you as a center back, as a defender. When you look at yourself on Transfer Market, of course, you're listed as a center back, and I instead try to think about where you haven't played for Orange County over the course of the last 2 seasons. Of course, you've played, I think, all but an hour and a half or all but 2 hours of this season thus far. How are things going for you on a personal level in 2026?
They're going pretty well. I mean, I've always loved playing soccer, and I think I've done a great job here. But at the same time, they're giving me an opportunity to play here, so I don't take that for granted at all. I want to perform every day, whether it's training or in games. Like I want to put myself in the best position to do that, and that there's a lot of work that goes into that. Off the field as well, eating well, sleeping well. Doing our recovery stuff, all the stuff that they do for us. So, I do my best to do everything that I can to stay on the field. I think the best ability you could have as a footballer is to be available for your team. And, I think that's probably why I've played in so many different positions. Some people unfortunately get hurt, and that's just the nature of the game. But, being able to slot in at whatever position that is needed from me is for me. I just love being on the field. So I thank the team a lot for allowing me to do that. But at the same time, I thank myself too for staying super disciplined in everything that I do as well.
That's fair. Hopefully we don't have to see you in goal. I feel like we will get the best out of you back there. And certainly Alex has done a good enough job. So no reason there.
Yeah.
We have a listener question, which is, how do you work on your finishing and movement off the ball during training? Are there any specific drills or techniques that you swear by?
I wouldn't say there's anything in particular that I do. I know we do. There's a good group of us that do finishing after almost every practice, whether it's, receiving off the pass and going at someone, or even just cutbacks like, we saw in the video. But I would say just repetition on anything that can happen. In a game, you'll never really have a perfect shot. So I just like to, especially in training or after practice, do random things and take shots. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a science or anything that I do. I think coming off the last game as well, where I did score with my head, I wanted to continue that run going of scoring goals. So hopefully we can keep it going.
So at what point do we see you up front? Are you going to be challenging Bazzini at some point and Ethan up there? Or, I mean, at this point, I'm kind of starting to jump on that bandwagon of let's just give you a couple of run of games of just being by yourself up there.
I would be a dream of mine to play 9. I think that would be amazing. I think I could do most of the stuff that they do. Obviously, it's hard. It's easier said than done. But I would say one position I don't think I can do as well are the winger positions in terms of running in behind or taking people on. I like to stick with just passing the ball and moving. And, that's why I think as a 9 I can work, just pass and get in the box. But, I mean, other than the winger positions, I feel confident anywhere else on the field. So.
Yeah, that's funny. That's what I was thinking when Dylan asked that question a minute ago. Is like, we've seen you basically everywhere up the spine of the team. Like, I don't think you've played out wide anywhere, but you've like center back, defensive midfielder, kind of played a little more of like a 10-ish type of role. I think now the logical next step forward is just have you play up front.
Really nice. Yeah, of course. I mean, left back, right back as well. I've played, but it's not necessarily you're taking people on. It's more defending and more, organizing the team and being in good spots where you can get the ball. It's probably a bit easier as well, looking at the whole game in front of you versus as a winger, you have people coming at you from everywhere. So it's definitely way different.
Sure. That's why in a Sunday league, Nico, I'm sitting as far back as possible because I cannot possibly. I'm not smart enough to watch everything behind me. I can barely focus on what's in front.
That's fine.
You mentioned never actually having the perfect shot, but via another listener question, if you could score the perfect goal in any stadium in the world, where would it be, and what would the celebration look like?
Yeah, it'd definitely be the Camp Nou. I'm a huge Barca fan. I grew up being a fan of theirs. I still watch videos of their old teams before games, even when I'm bored, at doing stuff on YouTube. But I would say definitely a goal there. Maybe perfect goal. Maybe
I think you mean Spotify Stadium, by the way.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to add that on. But honestly, a free kick there would be electric. I mean, obviously Messi's goal against Liverpool, I think it was there. It's the game they won 3-0 in the Champions League. I'm pretty sure it was there. So a goal like that, I would say I definitely would want to. I would say that's the perfect goal, for me. It's watching I'll bring it back to Messi, watching what he just did, about an hour ago with a hat trick. Every single one of the goals was amazing, and so much thought goes into each one of his shots. So it's definitely motivating for me, and I would say that's probably the perfect shot for me. A goal, a free kick in Camp Nou, Spotify Stadium. Yeah.
Fair enough. We'll take it. We'll take a hat trick on Saturday too. Why not, Nico?
Why not?
Have you been to Barcelona to see the stadium?
So I went 2 Decembers ago, and they were playing in their, I guess, makeshift stadium at the time. I forgot. I don't know who plays there now, but I watched the Barca game, first ever Barca game in my career. I remember tearing up a little bit. I was alone, and I was like, I need to go to a game, and I caught one. They won. They beat Atletico Madrid, but it wasn't at the Camp Nou, so I'll definitely have to head back there soon to watch Lamine Yamal, Pedri play again.
Perhaps a journey for this winter. Matt, I think you had another question.
No, I mean, I guess going back off of that. So besides Messi, give me your. Well, I guess I'll ask this: Who do you think you kind of base your game off of when it comes to Barca players? I kind of know the answer, I think. But
yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough. I mean, as a 6, you want to try your best to be Busquets. I think the way he reads the game, plays the game is unlike anyone has ever seen, and he does it at such a slow rhythm that I think real football fans can appreciate. And I think that's definitely someone I watch videos of before games to sort of calm me down a little bit, of also show that you're able to do these things on the field, and seeing how he does it, I'll try to replicate here and there. But going back to what you had said about Caicedo, I love how he plays, that South American grit, how he hits people and likes to get into tackles. And I tell Uzi all the time, like, for me, like, if I can just win the ball every time and give him the ball, I'm more than happy. So I would say that's definitely a part of my game that I like to do a lot, defend, win those duels, and give it to my teammates and have them perform. But I would say I guess at Barca, Busquets is the one I looked at the most.
Not Barca related, but how happy were you when Rodri won the Ballon d'Or as a 6? Was that a proud moment?
I was happy about that, but also that Vinny didn't win, because I didn't want Real Madrid anyone to win. But he's another one. I would say he's more of a physical Busquets. He's definitely faster. Obviously, he's playing in the Prem week in, week out, but you can tell he carries a lot of what Busquets had, more so in his brain than anything else, and that's why he makes a lot of people look very, very silly. So, no, he's an amazing player, and all these 6 that we're naming, I'll try and watch videos of and take anything I can from them. So,
see Declan tomorrow.
No, Arsenal.
We're gonna focus on being a good number 9. So honestly, I could not tell you who Barcelona's number 9 this past year was. I'm just living under a rock. Matt, did you? You looked like you had it for a sec. Nope. All right, Nico, who was the starting striker for Barcelona?
Lewandowski played a lot. Ferran Torres played a lot. I would say both of them both did a good job. Ferran Torres actually did really well this year. I wonder. I think they might bring in Julian Alvarez for next year, but we'll see what happens.
Perfect. We'll just start watching some film on that and replicate your game, and we'll be championing Nico Benalcazar being the Golden Boot winner at the end of this year at this rate.
Nice. That'd be great.
Nico, kind of away from you, how happy are you just over a third of the way through the season with how things have gone?
I'm definitely pretty happy. I mean, we're second in the West. I think if we win this weekend, it'll be first. And I think for the good majority of the season, we've done pretty well. We've been playing pretty well. I think we definitely let a few points slip a few games in a row, which I think could have definitely changed where we were at right now. But I think the West is also helping us out a little bit and not picking up as many points as they probably should. But in terms of, the team as a whole, we definitely started better than we did last year. And coming from that experience, we wanted to definitely make it a better transition from preseason into the season. And I think with a good group of players, a good group of the guys that we had last year, we were able to do that. So I'm definitely happy with that. And hopefully we can continue doing that. I know we have a few road games in a row now, so we just got to pick up as many points as we can before we come back in the season here at the Champ.
Yeah, producer Andy pointing out 9 away points this year compared to 10 in all of last year. So, that's something to be excited about. Nico, we'll let you go because recovery and rest and training and all that fun stuff. Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to on Saturday?
Definitely we'll play Vegas, so seeing Kyle Scott again. He was here when I was first on the team, and watching him play and sort of help me out when I first got here was definitely helpful. So seeing him will be great, but I would say more so being able to play again. Like I told you before, I don't take for granted at all playing, and every game that happens, we'll go in with the utmost effort and attention. So I'm definitely excited to get on the field again, with the team, and hopefully pick up 3 points, in Saturday and Wednesday in Miami.
We'll take it. Nico, one final question for you. Who's getting booked first, Chris or Kyle?
Definitely Chris. I think once it's weird. He's a weird one. He gets on the field and he starts to act like a different person, which helps us, a little bit as well. So I would definitely say Chris.
Amazing. Nico, thank you for your time tonight. congratulations on another goal. And we look forward to talking about a handful more of your goals this season.
Thank you guys so much. Talk to you guys soon. Awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, your number 6 / also joint top goal scorer somehow for Orange County Soccer Club, Nico Benalcazar. Perhaps his only fault is his lack of, or his love of Connecticut style pizza, which is fine. That's fine. Leave it to the rest of us.
I think you mean Orange County's 4, 6, 8, 10, and 9.
Just list all the numbers. And eventually, super utility man. We can really quickly look forward to this match, I suppose. Orange County 5 wins, 2 losses, and 5 draws after Saturday's match, and Vegas 4 wins, 5 losses, 3 draws. So it's maybe a little early to call them a boom or bust team, but it does feel like it's boom or bust for them. Of course, they can score, but they also concede a lot. So, Matt, when you're looking at the things here, what do you see going into this match as kind of, point number 1 for Orange County?
I think you kind of summed it up there. My biggest thought here really is this feels like one where you need to get 3 points on the road. This team can definitely be got at. I think, a 2-1 or something like that wouldn't be too much to ask. They can score, but they're not, teams we've come up against them earlier in the season where they're scoring for fun. So I think we should hopefully be able to get a result here. And there's no altitude excuses, and a fun little weekend out in Vegas, and also safe travels to all the OC folks going out there. I'm sad I won't be there.
Yeah, you took the next question, which was wondering if you were going to go. I know you've enjoyed some trips in the past. I am disappointed that there's no more kiddie pools. I'll just leave it at that one. I would surefire in if there was a kiddie pool. And we could probably convince Tom Brew to jump into it. Continue something of a tradition.
Easy Brewitt jumping in for sure. Yeah, it makes me sad. That's like that. The fact that game competes to me with winning the title in Tampa, tells you everything you need to know about my favorite away day supporting this club. And it's actually very close.
That's okay. Away days are the best days. So, hey, if you're on the fence, you like Orange County, you want to go, reach out to someone in the CLC. They might got a spot in a car. They might have a spot in a room. Go have a wonderful time. What happens in Vegas does, in fact, not stay in Vegas when you get to take 3 points home. So go soak it in. Go have a wonderful time and live it up a little bit. We've already got one prediction from a listener. Shout out to Greatest Soccer Channel. You've truly been on top of the show all night. Thank you for submitting questions. Thanks for being in the chat. 3-1 win is what they've got. What do you have?
To answer your question from earlier, Greatest Soccer Channel, because I did see it, they're like $800 for the tickets. I'm gonna go 2-1. What I said earlier, I think this is one where we can get a result. I don't think we tend to struggle in Vegas, and I think this is that they're primed for us to actually take 3 points. So I'm going to go with 2-1.
Fair enough. I do want to clarify that Matt was not saying that the tickets in Vegas were going to cost him $100.
Yes.
That was, of course, the World Cup tickets for the knockout round.
Correct.
I feel like this one is not going to necessarily be a clean sheet for Orange County. I'm thinking we sneak out with a 2-1. I'm curious to kind of get the rest of the normal crew's thoughts on this one. So keep an eye out on socials later this week, of course. OCSC_SoccerCast on pretty much every platform you can hope to find us on. And if not, take a look at the website, OCSCpodcast.com.
They're not here right now. Do they even exist?
Yeah. Does Albuquerque even exist?
No.
Nothing happened. It's fine. In all seriousness, Matt, any last thoughts? Any final thoughts?
Come on, USA. Vamos, Mexico.
All right. I'll take it. Whatever. I hope you are enjoying the World Cup. I hope you're enjoying the USL season. Hope you get to enjoy some Orange County on Saturday night. It's a thin crew tonight, so it's a short show tonight without our usual hosts, long rambling questions. For Matt, for producer Andy, and for myself, this has been the Orange and Black SoccerCast, and we are out.